savings on appliances from Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid. Update your kitchen and get up to $3,000 in rebates on KitchenAid packages, plus free local delivery. Hurry in. The first 500 customers get an exclusive gift from Santa with their purchase during Shaver's
Christmas in July.
Man, we sure have had quite a bit of severe weather this spring and summer.
Tell me about it. My roof is in shambles. The side of my house has hail damage, and I don't have time to deal with insurance companies right now.
Wait, Rico, you haven't talked to my guys at Coalition Restoration yet? They deal with commercial and residential roofing services, hail damage, and best of all, they'll work with the insurance companies to make your life easier.
Okay, what's the first step?
All you got to do is give them a call today for a free assessment at 402-416-8186. Coalition Restoration in Lincoln and online at coalitionrestoration.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Welcome into the LIBA Business Hour, sponsored by Nats to Tassili, highlighting local independent businesses in and around Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, LIBA Executive Director Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish.
Welcome to the LIBA Business Hour. I have a very special guest this morning, but I'll introduce myself first for those of you listening for the first time. My name is Gary Tharnish with Home Design Real Estate Group. Real quickly, I want to explain the acronym LIBA because I think sometimes y'all hear it, may not know what it is. It's the Lincoln Independent Business Association. So we, of course, represent a lot of individual business owners here in Lincoln, a lot of mostly independent, a lot of small businesses, which we know is the backbone of any economy. And I would like to introduce today my co-host, Travis Filing. He's the CEO, president of LIBA. And
yeah.
How you doing, Travis?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. I thought we could start today just a little bit differently. Give just a quick glimpse into what goes into doing the LIBA Business Hour. So basically, at the end of each show, Gary and I, we go out into the mill and we grab a cup of coffee and we talk about the show and what went good and what went bad, how we could improve. And then we talk about what we're going to do the following week. And so last week I said, Gary, I'm going to call the governor's office and see if he'll come down here and talk to us. And you laughed at me. So
as a good luck, he'll be in the panhandlers someplace.
Yeah. So I thought, you know what? It would probably be, we could start out today by having you introduce our guest who is here live in studio for the entire LIBA Business Hour this week.
Well, and it is my pleasure to introduce Governor Jim Pillen. And my first question for you would be, where's the beef? Wait. Dang.
That's awesome. If I'd have been prepared for that, I'd have brought fresh grilled bacon.
And that would make my day.
Here's the bacon, man.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Really.
I did warn him I was going to say that, by the way. So we're good, right, Jim? We're
fantastic.
Good deal.
We need beef, lots of it. Obviously, cattle are king in Nebraska, but we like bacon too.
On everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll wrap bacon around anything. I love bacon.
It's so funny because I thought when I picked up the phone, I talked to, I think it was Ann, your assistant, who's an absolute sweetheart.
She's fantastic. Lifelong teacher, educator. She's and somehow she's fantastic. Loves what she does. Loves people, and we're very, very grateful she's helping us.
Well, when I was talking to her, I thought, there's no way. You have been crisscrossing the state. He's probably going to be in the panhandle. There's no possible way. You have been busy.
Our team is committed. This is such an extraordinary privilege to be the governor of Nebraska. I have goosebump moments every single day. We were talking earlier, I think that one thing that's really important, sometimes things get way too complicated. And, here's one thing every economist in the world will agree on. You take taxes in by income tax, sales tax, and property tax. And if you want to keep people from coming to the greatest place in the history of civilization, the state of Nebraska. If you want to keep people from coming or chase people away, have the highest property tax. We have a crisis. We're going everywhere. We're working very, very hard to solve the problem. It's a crisis. It's essential, and that's what we're doing. We're not going to give up until we get it done.
Personal experience on that, Governor, and we were talking about this before the show, but there's a large company here in town, and they brought all of their employees back. They've all been remote. They actually were remote long before COVID, so it's kind of been a culture for them. CEO says, you know what, we need to get back together. No more of these. I sent an email 20 minutes ago. Where are you? Just walk over to the office and say, hey, Jim, what's going on with this? So on and so forth. Is it okay if I call you Jim?
I'm
Frank?
Jim.
Or
I'm
what
Jim.
do you prefer, Jim? Okay.
Jimbo, Jumbo.
Okay. I'll just stick with hey you. But anyway, so our real estate group and brokerage got the contract to help bring these people back. So they would come and they would tour the office and everything. And then we would take them around town and just get them to know Lincoln and show them sites and stuff. Having them fall in love with Lincoln was easy, right? I mean, I've lived here my entire life. So take them all over town. Then we start talking housing. And they're like, oh, this is less expensive here. And is this the property tax on that property? I was going to pay cash, but now I'm going to be paying $1,600 a month in property tax. It's an issue. And I will tell you, of the 7 people I worked with, only 3 of them came. And of those 4, 3 of them it was property tax that just turned them off. Now, you can look at cost of living in general and the overall thing but people don't property tax, it's right there on your bill. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's gigantic, and we have to get it solved, and we will. And today it has become such a crisis that, as I say, you don't even have to own property to be adversely affected. And,
sure.
It's the 3 things that keep all of us going to make sure we get this solved. Young people, the facts are about 30% of young people working in the state of Nebraska have lost the hope to own their own home.
Yep.
It's the best way you can create wealth for your family. We talked briefly. When people coming here, the first thing, we got the property tax or the income tax. We're going to be competitive by 2027 at 3.99. We stopped taxing our senior citizens on their Social Security income. That stopped. But property tax, so that they don't come. And then the other third piece is, I love this place. I love the people that have raised their families, educated their children, worked their tails off to help a company be successful. They paid for their house, and now 5 and 10 years on a fixed income, they're waking up and going, I can't afford to live in the house I paid for. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And some have said I've made this up. No, come to the town halls and meet all the people. That's happening.
Oh, yeah. I hired a lot of retired guys in my business. I needed delivery people, and a lot of retired guys came into work. And there were several, let's be realistic. There were 3 that I know for sure that moved to Missouri in their retirement because it was, I can save this many thousands of dollars over the next 10 years, which might be my remaining lifespan, for example. And that's sad because they were lifelong Lincoln or Nebraska residents.
Yeah. And we were talking last week, my daughter, her property taxes went up $150 a month. And she's not in the country club area. She's in a little 2-bed, 1-bath in Elmwood. And she's lucky in that she's in a position where I can help. Most Nebraskans are not in that position where they have. When I was her age, my family couldn't have helped me. And most Nebraskans are in that spot. And it's painful.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. And I think we're out speaking, and I'm grateful to be on. Anybody listening, it's really, really important that the senators hear from Nebraskans.
Yeah.
One of the most shocking pieces being your governor in the first 20 months. I'm amazed at the power of the lobbying groups and the special interests. And doesn't make them bad people, but the hardcore reality is they are not concerned about senators or the elected people. They are concerned about the people paying them. And we just can't have senators be duped. We got to get the truth out. We have to fix and solve the problem. Every senator by now knows we have an extraordinary crisis. The levying group, the valuations that came out again, and we've got a plan that we're really, really excited about. It's simple. It won't make everybody happy, but it'll solve the crisis, and we can it's critical at this juncture. Nebraska is in a position to have extraordinary growth. We have to grow Nebraska to be prospering. And if we don't get it fixed and we start shrinking, we'll never get it back. It's absolutely essential.
Yeah.
Well, not small example. It's an awesome example of growth in a company that chose Nebraska because of the people is Monolith. And I look at that model and what they're doing, and I'm thinking that's the future of Nebraska, or a new part of the future of Nebraska. Ag is important, obviously, but touching on something there, do you love carve outs? All these little carve outs, that people get their little tax exemption and everything. What do you think about those?
I call it goober politics.
Okay, my word for the year. I love that. I'm studying last night, reading, going, oh my gosh, I'm going to interview the governor. Talking to the governor, I need to know everything, and getting a little tired, and I'm come across the word goober politics, and I just am dying laughing. So with all due respect, but what I get it, the idea you're being reelected, and there's definitely going to be decisions made on, I need money, I need this, and it can affect the vote.
Yeah.
I think one of the, I think in this understanding, how did we get here? And I think there's a couple things that are really simple. Number one, we have a spending problem.
Yeah.
There is every one of us in business. I don't care what size, from when I started a practice with myself to as we grow, our businesses can get bloat. Obviously, government can get bloat. We have to say no. I understand why government officials don't like to say no. It doesn't make people happy.
Right.
But it's the only way. So our fundamental premise is we run government like a business, and we have to say no. And so spending is a big problem. Nobody understands this. It took me way too long, but the valuations that everybody's getting. Here's what's unbelievable. We have state statute in play today that says whatever the valuation goes up, the levy goes down accordingly. Except each local government agency can override, and we do across the state 100% of the time. So a key piece of our plan is hard caps, no more spending, hard cap zero or CPI, whichever is more, and local government has total control. The difference is votes of the people, not votes of 3 or 6 people, because we have proven, and as I say, I'm guilty. I'm a normal Nebraskan. I've worked hard. I've never gone to a city council meeting. I've never gone to a county zoning meeting. I've never gone to a school board meeting. We have to, local control is votes of the people, not votes of 3 or 6 people. We've proven it doesn't work. We, as I've said in town halls with folks, have you ever come across times where you got more money than you thought you'd have? People say, yeah. And what do we do with it? We spend it.
Yep.
And we are really good as elected of spending other people's money. We have to stop it. We have to have votes of the people. Hard caps, no more spending.
And I know Joe Kelly came down and talked at a LIBA luncheon here a couple of months ago, and he had this graph that he was showing, I think in 1985, we had crossed $1 billion in property tax. And then in 2000, I think 3, it was 2 billion, and then 3 billion, 4 billion. Now we're at 5 billion in the last, was it 5 years?
Yeah. So it's a fascinating numbers. In 2023, we Nebraskans wrote checks for 5.3 billion. In the first 365 days I was your governor, our property taxes went up 300 million. So from 1984, it took 18 years to get to $1 billion. Then it took 8 to the next billion. Then it took 6 to the next. Then it took 5 to get the next. And now the next billion will be 3 years.
So
property
the
taxes
revenue's
are up.
there. The revenue is there to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish. So we're really not in a property tax crisis. We're in a spending crisis, and this is simply a symptom of it.
Exactly. So we're spending, we're spending ourselves, and so in the 3, every economist will agree. If you have the highest property tax, it's a great way to chase people away and keep people from coming, growing your economy. So in 2023, we had 2.3 billion in sales tax revenue. We had 3.7 in income tax, and then we had 5.3, which is going to 6 soon.
Wow.
It's a crisis. It's common sense. We have to fix it. Everybody knows it. And as I say, we have to focus on the big pictures. We're not going to agree on every source of revenue. We're leading the way. the state is leading the way, running business like a government, decreasing spending. We will fund the first 350 million from the state because of decreased spending, running our government more efficiently. The other proponent that I've been an advocate of my whole life is broad sales tax. We've had a broad sales tax back 57 years ago, and every year since, goober politics enter in, special interest, one sales tax exemption after another, tune of 120. And that's the other piece of why we have this problem. So you take sales tax exemptions where the revenue, we can put it on property tax, nobody will know.
Right.
Well, we know today.
And that's something that I've talked about too with friends and whatnot, is there's so many exemptions that if you got rid of all of them, I know that's going to be a task if you could actually accomplish that, but you would actually lower the overall sales rate to 2 or 3%. And I'm saying this as I own one of my businesses. We're a marketing firm.
Right.
We don't charge tax.
Right.
And where I read things, people go, well, it would be devastating. I don't think so. I mean, I have clients who spend $500,000 a year with me, and I don't think they're going to go, hey, I was looking at our $40,000 bill this month, and what's this $700 tax? They're really not going. They're going to notice because they're businessmen, but I don't think it's that crucial. That it's earth shattering.
Well, and the other proof in the pudding, our team's been working very, very hard. Obviously, understanding what's all going on around us. Guess what? If you think of South Dakota, what's the first tax policy comes to mind with South Dakota? No income tax.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Huge.
they can't print their own money. So where do you think they get their revenue? They have a lot of sales tax.
Right.
They have two-tiered sales tax. They tax a lot. There's myths about border bleed and all these things. Well, I've never heard of anybody up in Crofton having a ton of business coming in from South Dakota because they pay more sales tax for things. I won't name it, but I like to drink coffee. I love the milk coffee. I love McDonald's coffee. I love Scooter's coffee. Well, when there was $1 coffee for a while, whatever Scooter, guess what? It wasn't the same each place. One place it was $1.06, another place was $1.09, another place was $1.10. And guess what? Anybody stop because of that? No. So sales tax, broadening the sales tax is a no-brainer. The other key to this, we all have to have a little attitudinal change. We got to get me off of our forehead and recognize we have to fix this policy. It's a crisis, and we all have to give a little bit. So broadening a sales tax base instead of no way I can participate. When the special interests say no, I say, I'm done. Come up with a plan other than the word no. That doesn't work.
So when I wave my magical wand and it comes to taxation in the United States, I'm like, if everybody had to write a check every month, one to the state, one to their county, one to the federal government, they're more than 25% of the population is going to be voting, right? I mean, it's these, right. And the thing about property taxes that jumps out at you is it's a house payment every month.
Right.
So you've got an extra 400, 500, 1,500, depending on where you are in your home. That's noticeable, right? You go to the store and instead of $1.28, it's $1.32. You're not going to go, I'm driving down to Kansas to buy my, bag of chips today because that's like so high. I get that. And we have, we need money to run government. That's very, very important, but it's the wants. And that's what worries me when you get into re-elections and senators are like, well, if I fill some of these wants, this group is happy and that group is happy. And all this of a sudden we're funding all these wants that aren't needs. I mean, it's great if there's the income to do that. And we have a state that people want to move to because the tax rate's wonderful. We don't have that in Nebraska. I mean, I see it all the time in my business where people are coming in from out of state and they're like, wow, the price is, and then they look at their property tax and it's a lot.
Well, in our business, we have a lot of young people who we get right out of the university or graphic designers and whatnot. And they stick with us for about a year. And before long, they're gone to Kansas City. They're gone to Denver. They're leaving. We can't keep them here because they either are just renting. And so they're transient and they don't have an opportunity to buy because the houses aren't there. The cost is through the roof. Yeah, property tax is a huge portion of that because tenants are paying it. I own rentals. My tenants feel this, even though they don't own the property, they're still paying it, and it affects them.
And, and the piece that's so awesome, obviously, we all know the salt in the earth of Nebraska and our economy is small businesses.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, I'm just in awe of being everywhere in the last 3.5 years of all 93 counties, the incredible businesses, the entrepreneurship, the risk taking, and oh, by the way, the incredible wealth created.
Exactly.
And everywhere we have workforce challenges. Well, obviously, we have to be working on childcare. We have to be working on housing. But when the holy grail of property tax. And what has happened in the last 6-7 years is property taxes have become out of control for everything within communities, housing. Originally, after renewable fuels policy, it affected farming, and as land went from 2,000 to 12 and 13,000, that got out of control, and now it's affecting every single one. And I think I'm 100% confident we'll have bipartisan support to fix it. A couple key pieces of the plan: hard caps. We have to stop spending money. Local control stays the same. The only difference is we have votes of the people when you need more money instead of 3 or 6 people. The other piece, the biggest piece, and when this calling happened, one of the first things, I'm governor, 4 words: kids, taxes, agriculture, values. Kids, taxes, agriculture, values. I'm keeping my life simple. Kids, taxes, agriculture, values. Our kids are our future. And we all agree. I don't care where we come from. We all agree we never give up on a kid. Educating our kids. We have poverty in every one of our communities. As my dream as governor, we end poverty. If there's any place in the world that can do it, we can do it in Nebraska. Education is fundamental. It's critically important. So 2 sessions ago, we were able to strengthen our community colleges. Our community colleges are essential to the future of Nebraska. So we get more kids through trade schools. It's the 21st century. We'll have thriving middle class. We have lots of technological work that has to be done. We need kids to be trained. So the state took over the funding of community colleges 2 years ago. And that made a big difference. And that's another piece of the plan for K-12.
And I want to talk about that. We've got to go to a break. So coming out of the break, I want to talk about your K-12 plan.
Definitely.
So you're listening to 93.7 The Ticket with Governor Pillen.
Community means something different to everyone. But for me, it means cheering on those around you during the good times and helping them out during the tough times. I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I've been blessed with the support of my friends, family, coaches, and community throughout my life. When looking for a bank to call home, it was easy to choose Midwest Bank. I never feel like just another customer, and they're proud to support their communities. They love what they do, and it shows. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Summer is here, and it's time for Acres postseason planter parts sale. Save big on all in-stock John Deere planter parts. Get an automatic 10% off on your purchase, or get 15% off when you spend $5,000 or more. Buy over $10,000 and get a whopping 20% off. Visit your local Acres location today and stock up on planter parts and save thousands. Hurry, this sale ends July 31st or while supplies last. Acres, solutions for every field.
Without a strong IT partner, your business ends up overspending, underperforming, wearing too many hats, complicating your work, and more. Applied Connective Technologies can help with experts in every facet of technology. If it plugs in, powers on, or charges up, they're your people. Imagine being able to call one team for all your technology solutions rather than a village of vendors and providers. For all your needs in managed IT and cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, infrastructure, and audio or video, head to appliedconnective.com to better your business today.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in July. Try any of their delicious breakfast burritos or sandwiches for a great summer breakfast with the family. And don't forget, 10% of all caramel latte sales go to the Pediatric Cancer Action Network. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Play ball! Ready to unleash the fun with Salt Dogs Baseball? Join us at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed games running through August. Stay ahead of the game by visiting saltdogs.com for updates on exciting promotions, giveaways, and events happening each week. Experience a change-up from your typical family night, or make it a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers.
Strike 3, you're out!
Don't miss the fun happening all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by Ascend Aesthetics.
Welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. If you're listening live, beautiful Saturday morning, get out. We have a very special guest today, Travis and I do. Travis called up Governor Jim Pillen's office and he said, yeah, I'll come chat with you. So we're chatting today. And Governor, before we went to break, you were talking about 4 pillars. The first one's being kids and education. Touch back on that. We kind of go to break. So finish your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I think that it's essential. I was stunned when this calling happened and started learning more things. And, you know, we have 244 school districts in the state of Nebraska.
It's crazy.
180 had virtually $0 from the state. And as I said, holy cow, the state has quit on kids. We all agree our kids are future. How could it be that the state quit on kids, not funding 180 of 244 school districts? We have this TIOSA formula, so complicated. Certainly no school, very, very few school board members, a lot of superintendents, very difficult, very, very complicated and not just. And so my position's been really simple. We got to quitting on kids. We have to treat kids fairly across the entire state. And so, let's simplify TIOSA, the simplest thing of all, and have transformative property tax change. If you look at your property tax statement, your highest cost, 50 to 70%, depending on your district.
Sure.
This is K-12 education. So plan is really simple. Copy what we did with community colleges to strengthen community colleges and have the state fund it. Take it off the property tax. That was 5-6% savings. Now, what will be incredible is we fund K-12 education. We, the state, do our job. It is the constitutional obligation of the state of Nebraska. You know, government is supposed to keep us safe, build infrastructure, educate our children, not property taxpayers. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, because I when I first heard the idea of the state funding K-12, I thought, okay, on the surface, I like this because our property taxes, their budgets are going up, and their test scores are going down, down, and we're spending more and more money to not educate our kids. So one question that I always get hit with is, so if a school district needs to increase their budget, what does that look like? Do they have to go to legislature or?
Yeah, no, the goal is to keep it very, very simple. Number one, nobody goes backwards. The state simply, it becomes the funding source. Some have said, gee whiz, we lose control of school boards. I go, no, I've never, every school board member I've ever asked, why did you get on to become a school board member? Make a difference for kids. None have ever said because they're an expert in the TIOSA formula and the funding.
Right.
And same with superintendents. So simply the funding, and then we come to an agreement what that increase would be each year. Obviously, there's things within the TIOSA formula next session that can be simplified so that the funding, everything would be in place this next year as is. The transformative is to have the funding come from the state and then simplify. Another key piece, I've met with superintendents countless times since the campaign and as governor. Kids is a high priority. Educating our kids. Who is against this? Every superintendent has said we have countless state statutes, countless, that have no impact on educating our children, but increases the cost of educating our children.
Yep.
We call it Operation Clean the Closets Out. We will work to get those out so we can get rid of the administrative bloat in education so that superintendents and boards of educations can rely on their income, but we don't have checkers checking on checkers, and put that money into raising teachers' salaries.
Bingo.
Who on earth is against that?
Yeah.
You know, when my daughters were younger, I volunteered at their school every Wednesday morning from 8 to 12. I was able to do that, you know, as a business owner. I made that happen. Became a priority for me. And teachers, that is, first off, thank you to every teacher listening out there, because that is an immense job. And the sad thing that I noticed quickly, the money's not trickling down to their classrooms in a lot of cases. Teachers buy an awful lot of things for their kids. I would bring things for the classrooms that are needed. And so getting that's a key for me. Let's get more money into teachers' pockets personally, because they're already spending a lot of their own money. My daughter-in-law is a teacher in California, and it's just crazy how much, I mean, she's always just literally trying to raise money for her classroom. Can you imagine getting to that point anywhere in America? It's sad.
So think about this. Our plan will decrease your property taxes over 50%, and we will be able to pay teachers more. Who on earth can possibly vote against that?
Yeah.
Well, surprise, surprise. You'll just be finding that out.
We're going to find out in a
Isn't that
couple
going to
weeks.
make for a fun month of August for you? I mean, I know what you mean. I'm just joking, but I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the special interest sometimes that gets in the way of a lot of that. And, you know, my little piece of the pie. And like you said, I mean, we all kind of have tattooed on our foreheads invisibly, what's in it for me?
Right.
You know, we really need to get past that. That's one thing I admire about my father is he was, to my mother's chagrin, He was an electrician. She didn't chagrin that he was an electrician, but she moved out of her house 45 years later and still didn't have that outlet, moved over 3 feet the kitchen she needed. But my dad was always the one that he would always be helping someone out, not asking for money. He had helping in their house, and love to get back to a little bit more of that. And I think we all want it as people. You know, we want to help other people, but gosh, you know, you start paying all of your bills, and you know, if you have a $2.5 million house and you can afford that, if there's a problem, you just write a check. If you have a $200,000 house and there's a problem, it can be a crisis. I need a heater, $10,000. What am I going to do? You know, and just your house payment, how much it'll go down just on the property tax, and then you're going to have incremental taxation. You know, one of my concerns with anytime I hear we're going to reduce this tax or reduce that, I kind of do the analogy of a pillow. Looking at a pillow, and I want to tamp the pillow down. So I'm going to use both palms of both my hands, all my fingers, and you kind of got to do it all at once. So if you just cut one thing and you're using one finger to try, the minute you touch the pillow, it's going to raise on the other side. And so it has to work is the big thing. And I think there's a lot of people that are like, they're worried about what they'll call the big shift.
Yeah.
Like, is there going to be a big shift? And if so, where does that come from?
Yep.
Cuts in spending are important. What did I read? Utah company did some research for you.
Not a research. We are actively working together. So a couple of things are real. Again, can't talk enough. We are running state government like a business. That simply means we are assessing, and I'm very, very proud of all of our cabinet members. They have said, we're on board. We want to be the best. We want to lead. We know we can make a difference. We are having public servants across the state saying, hey, we're lacing our sneakers up and we're competing, and we love running government like a business and making things better, not just standing by. So running government like a business, and we lead the way, bringing $350 million. How'd that happen? Because we simply are improving processes, decreasing spend, and improving services. That's not miraculous. We all do that in business every single day.
Yeah.
Is it popular? No, we don't like no, but it has to happen. If we don't do it now, we will shrink in size of people and we'll never get it back. It's absolutely essential. So this is a tax decrease plan. We will decrease property taxes over 50%, and we will broaden sales tax. It is a tax decrease. It will make it more equitable across. Obviously, from my seat, groceries are off the table.
Good.
Groceries are off the table. Now, I believe we tax pop and candy. Nobody knows this. I've asked this question a gazillion times. You go into a quick shop, you buy a bottle of Coke. You know what you pay for sales tax?
That's sales tax, right?
Nothing.
Okay,
No.
so that's a surprise to me.
You don't pay sales tax. Now, this afternoon when it's really, really hot, and you want a cup to suck on ice, and you go to the soda fountain, you pay sales tax on that. Now, is that nuts or what?
That's crazy.
It's nuts. So,
same product.
And same product.
Different vessel.
But my point is, pop and candy is not a food group. When the Pillin boys were growing up, if we ever got a pop, it was one hell of a day.
Yeah. Treat. Same in our
family. It's not a food group. So
Truly.
The point is, those are the sales taxes. Those are the taxes that we should do. In our listening, in our town halls, people are on edge, and after valuations, Nebraskans are respectful, but they're ticked off, and so we have to broaden the sales tax. Really good business people have said, our economy's changed. We're not near as a consumer of goods. We have tons of services. We don't tax a service.
Yeah.
So those are simple things. Small business person has blasted me and said, you're going to put me out of business keeping track of a sales tax. And I said, look, I started a small business from scratch before we had computers. It's not that big a deal. So we just attitudinally have to say, how do we make this happen instead of saying no to everything?
Yeah.
Those that say no to everything, come on. We have to come together attitudinally to make the policy what's best for Nebraska, and we all have to give a little bit. Because in the end, I'm not giving up because I'm governor of everybody in Nebraska. Young people have to stay here because this is the best place to live and raise your families. We just have to fix the property tax so that they can have hope they can own their own home. We have to fix it so that the people that have been the salt in the earth of our state for the last 50 years, they're retired. They paid for their home. They raised their families. And now they're waking up on fixed income. And I can't afford my home. Are you kidding me?
You know, moving into a special session, how many votes do you think you have right off the bat?
We're going to have way more than what we need. We're going to have way more than 33. We will have bipartisan support again, because simply we've simplified it. It's very simple, and we're focused on kids. And we're going to decrease property tax over 50%, and we are going to have more money to pay teachers more. Holy cow. Who on earth?
One thing that the group is out there, and they are advocating that we legalize marijuana for the tax revenues. And what I'm sure that's come across your desk, and,
Sure.
and that's something that you've looked at, not considered. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So, I went to school a long time. I had a dream to be a veterinarian from the time I was 8 years old. I got a doctorate in veterinary medicine. As a veterinarian, probably nobody knows this, but veterinarians have access with your code number to be able to have more controlled substances than any other healthcare profession. So I'm a really strong proponent of prescribed medical marijuana, but to legalize it on the street and have it accessed like they've done in Colorado, I just don't support that. I am old enough to know how the berries turn. I saw enough stuff in my day, and we have to protect our kids. If anybody thinks that's the best thing, I would invite you to go into communities in Colorado and ask people how things have changed. So, I'm not a supporter of legalizing marijuana across the street.
And it's so funny because my response to those people is always the same. It's okay, maybe there's tax revenue there, but are we willing to sell out our state and our countrymen for a couple of tax dollars? I mean, it's a devastating habit.
And again, kids, taxes, agriculture, values. I'm going to fight like hell for our values, and that's one we have to protect our kids. People that find marijuana and smoke it, I got no problem. I'm not going to, but I'm going to do everything we can. Think of this: we don't allow our kids to get tattoos, to go buy cigarettes. Holy cow, we're gonna let that happen and invade in. It absolutely makes no sense. Can't do it. I think that the other thing though is we're working hard on taxing more. So the people of Nebraska spoke. People in Nebraska spoke on casinos. This is one probably, if Coach Osborne's listening, he might go, "Oh boy, Jim," but we will have in a couple of years over $100 million of property tax relief from when the casinos all get up and running. Another item would certainly be games of skill to be able to have revenue there. The other one is online sports betting. I don't like it at all, but the hardcore reality is all of our neighbors do it.
Yeah.
And so anybody in the state of Nebraska today that wants to do sports online betting does it, and the tax revenue goes across the state. So we've made the decision as a people, and I'd be an advocate of supporting that because it's happened. It's the market. I call it's the market. The market's the market, whether you like it or not, and we ought to adjust to that.
Very good. Well, we got one more quick break, and then we'll wrap it up right after this.
Kingdom Sports Minute with Ron Brown.
The odds are not good for any high school or college athlete reaching the pros. For some, the journey takes longer and has unexpected twists and turns. An example would be Kurt Warner, who was ultimately inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but not before his career path took more than a few wrong turns. He was undrafted during training camp. He spent 3 seasons in the Arena Football League before eventually signing with the St. Louis Rams as a backup quarterback. King David experienced many rough spots on his own path when he moved the Ark of the Covenant covenant. God directed the ark to be moved from Levi's tribe, carried by poles inserted into the gold side rings. In 1 Chronicles 13:1, David consulted many human advisors, but he forgot to consult God. Though he took 30,000 men, placed the ark on a new cart, and made a great show of the procession, he did not do the right thing. He did it the wrong way. The problem was disobedience to God's word. God only blesses his work done in his way, and God cares about the details.
Visit kingdomsports.online.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I'd like Bill to be say next to you, so when you say on three, he goes,
that'd be awesome. That would be Steve Sipple on three. You should be there just for that.
That's all I said for 3 days.
Kirk Francis, Steve Sipple from the Husker Online on 3 Network.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Facing criminal charges is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we believe in treating every person with respect, compassion, and understanding. When legal troubles are keeping you up at night, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. To learn more, call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Bree Fansteel, local race car driver. Join me and James Rowland every Sunday at 7 p.m. for The Finish Line, where we discuss off-road, on-road, and sometimes next-to-the-road racing on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Services.
And we're back with our last segment. We got about 5 more minutes with the governor. One question that I had, I was kind of preparing for our conversation today, and I wanted to look and see where our tax. When's the last time we had a property tax cut? And I was kind of surprised that Governor Ricketts had passed some, and I think it was $550 or $750. But it don't feel like it. Where?
Yep. So there was a lot of the seniors in the unicameral class were part of that in partnership with Governor Ricketts, and they were called the property tax credits. Here would be, and it's another key piece of the plan. So where we would front load those credits. What took place is that the credits, you'd take advantage of those going to your accountant. So you wrote the check for property tax, you went to your accountant, and got that money back 11 months later. I'm governor of everybody in Nebraska, so here's what's happened 4 and 5 years in. Number one, in 2023, $500 million was taken advantage of by 55% of Nebraska. $250 million was left on the table by 45% of Nebraskans who did their own taxes or didn't take advantage of it. So the other piece of the plan is to front load this, number one, so all Nebraskans take advantage of it. Number two, all of us in business, we don't like the government using our money for 11 months, so those go. But the other piece, so that was a great step, but you say, why do we not feel it? Because we keep spending money, and that's why this plan, hard cap, stop spending money, votes of the people no longer. That is local control. Local control of votes of 3 and 6 people obviously have not worked. It's time we have votes of the people. That's local control. The goal would be to have those primaries and election years, not special ballots, so that all the people come out. And then we'll have more people voting to be involved with how we spend our money and how we tax ourselves.
Yeah, the difference between small business and government. In small business, when I wanted a big building, I thought, oh, you know what? I'll just bill each of my customers for this bill, build myself a big building because, it's a tough thing. Spending is a huge issue and always has been in government.
Yeah.
It is so easy to spend other people's money.
Yep.
Governor, give me $100 today. I'll spend it for you.
Yeah.
I'll buy you something you may not need, but
I think it doesn't make anybody bad. It's a human nature flaw.
Yep.
Every one of us,
of course.
If we come into more money than we thought, it's easy to spend our own money. And so the incentive is backwards. I understand why nobody's tackled this. It's not fun to say no.
Yeah.
But we have to have the courage to stand up for our values. We have to have the courage to make sure we compete with our neighbors. We spent money during the Obama administration. We went through a recession, and we had deflation for 9 years. We had deflation for 9 years, yet we kept spending at a rate of 5% more, which means we grew government by 8%. Go back and look at the data. That's why hard cap zero, so that or the CPI, so that just this month, right? We actually were a tick of deflation this month. Deflation's going to come back. We need to learn from the past. That's why hard cap zero. That simply means when we have deflation of 3% and you can buy 3% more with $1, then the government stays at zero. You don't go to 3% less. You stay at zero. We got to keep from growing government. We have to say no.
And tie those things together.
We got 1 minute left. In that last minute, tell us what what the listeners can do to help you get this across the finish line, because we need this.
Yeah, it's just really essential. Everybody's voice has to be heard. At one town hall, one person said, I don't do that. I don't call anybody. I don't do that. And I said, well, with all due respect, if You don't help solve the problem. That means you're a complainer. You don't count. Everybody's voice has to be heard. Every senator in the unicameral is senator of the state of Nebraska.
Yeah.
Not just your district. We encourage you to go to nebraskalegislature.gov, tell your story, say, please vote for the Nebraska property tax plan to all 49 senators. They need to hear from the people of Nebraska, not the lobbyist groups and the special interests. They have to hear from every one of us. It's absolutely essential. Your voices need to be heard. Your voices will be heard. Your voices make an extraordinary difference. I can't tell everybody how important that is. If you don't do it, please don't complain if we don't get it across.
Yeah, and it's easy. I mean, it's a quick phone call. They ask one or two questions,
or an
off
email,
the phone you
or
go.
the emails. They all count. They all count, and keep doing it multiple times. Probably the other piece of this game that's unusual. Most of us conservatives, if we say yes, we take our yes. If we say no, don't. In this process, people need to hear multiple times. So the more you can do it, we can't give up. We don't want to wake up and say shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well,
Absolutely.
Together we can.
Yeah.
Together
Governor,
we can. Together we will. Together we win. It's critical.
Thank you for joining us today. Look forward to hearing from you again sometime. Stop back. And
I'd love to come again and bring bacon.
There you go. Yes, lots of bacon. I can
We'll
wrap
see you
my
next
beef in
week.
bacon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. Really enjoyed it.
You're never gonna.
That
forgive
was
me
the
for that,
LIBA
are you?
Business Hour right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We'll be right back.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they